When you sit quietly and think about money, what comes to your mind first? For many people, the word money carries fear. Fear of losing it, fear of not having enough, fear of chasing it their entire lives and still coming up short. Yet for others, that same word brings excitement, adventure, and possibility. The truth is, money itself has no emotions. It's we who project our emotions onto it. Money is energy, and how you think about it determines how it behaves around you. Let me tell you something I learned from watching two kinds of people in life, those who work for money and those who make money work for them. You see, one kind believes that life is about survival, that money must be earned with sweat and struggle, that wealth is reserved for a few lucky ones. The other believes that wealth is a choice, that opportunities are everywhere, and that your mind, not your job, is your greatest asset. You might have grown up hearing phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, study hard and get a good job, or don't take risks. Those words sound wise, but they carry chains. They were meant to protect you from failure, but in truth, they often protect you from freedom. They keep you safe, yes, but safely poor, safely stuck. The mind that fears risk also fears growth. And without growth, your income becomes a prison instead of a path. The first transformation begins in the mind. A rich person's mind operates like fertile soil. It welcomes ideas, even the strange ones, because it knows that every great fortune began as a thought. The poor mind rejects ideas that sound too ambitious. It says, that's impossible, or I could never do that. The rich mind says, how can I make this possible? That single difference changes the trajectory of a life. Think of two men standing in front of the same opportunity. One sees danger, the other sees destiny. One says, I can't afford that. The other says, how can I afford that? That question alone activates creativity. It forces the brain to look for solutions, to find doors that others can't see. That's how wealth begins, not in your wallet, but in your words. You see, money flows towards certainty and confidence. People who believe in their vision attract investors, customers, and partners. People who doubt themselves attract pity and excuses. That's why self-belief is the foundation of financial intelligence. You cannot manage money if you can't manage your thoughts about it. I've seen people work 30 years for security only to retire with nothing but regret. I've seen others start with nothing but an idea and end up employing hundreds. What separates them is not luck, it's literacy, financial literacy. You were taught how to read books, but not how to read balance sheets. You were taught how to pass exams, but not how to pass down wealth. Schools teach people to memorize facts, not to multiply value. That's why so many educated people still struggle financially. They know how to earn money, not how to make it work for them. In the world of money, there are two games happening simultaneously. The first is the income game, where people trade time for money. The second is the wealth game, where people trade ideas for income. The poor mind stays busy with the first game, working longer hours, taking more jobs, even relocating for slightly better pay. The rich mind focuses on the second, building systems, acquiring assets, and allowing money to duplicate itself while they sleep. If you want to change your life, you must stop saying, I need more money, and start saying, I need to become the kind of person money respects. Money doesn't go to the hardest worker. It goes to the smartest manager. It rewards clarity, creativity, and courage. Think about it: who earns more? The farmer who tills the land or the one who owns it? Who gets paid more? The driver or the one who owns the vehicles? Who gains wealth faster? The employee or the employer? It's not about education alone, it's about elevation of thought. There's a silent law of wealth that most people never discover. Money amplifies who you already are. If you are fearful, money will make you more fearful. If you are generous, money will make you more generous. If you are wasteful, it will multiply your waste. That's why some people win the lottery and still go broke. Their mindset couldn't handle the blessing. Wealth without wisdom is a curse. You must grow mentally and spiritually before you can grow financially. Look at your life right now. How you treat a single dollar is how you would treat a million. If you waste coins, you would waste gold. The habit is the same, only the zeros change. People often say, when I have more money, I'll start saving. But the truth is, if you can't save $10, you can't save 10,000. Discipline starts with what's in your pocket. The poor mind sees money as a ticket to consumption, a way to buy comfort, pleasure, and validation. The rich mind sees money as a seed, a way to grow more, to multiply, to build something that feeds generations. That's why you'll find some people buying gadgets they don't need to impress people who don't care, while others quietly acquire land, stocks, or small businesses that will feed their families long after they're gone. Here's something I've observed through years of study and experience. The rich don't spend to look rich, they spend to stay rich. They invest in education, networks, tools, and assets. Every purchase must serve a purpose, to grow income, protect value, or bring lasting joy. The poor spend emotionally, the rich spend strategically. One buys shoes to show off, the other buys shares to earn dividends. But here's the beauty: anyone can switch sides. You don't need $1 million to start thinking rich. You need a shift in perspective. Begin by asking, where does my money go every month? Track it, study it, respect it. Every dollar is a soldier. If you send them out without orders, they'll desert you. If you send them on missions, investments, savings, business, they'll return with reinforcements. Let me tell you a secret that few financial gurus reveal. Money is loyal to purpose. It doesn't stay where it's not valued or directed. When you waste it, it leaves silently. When you guide it wisely, it brings friends. That's why budgeting is not punishment. It's partnership. You and your money must have an understanding. You must sit down and plan like teammates. Think of your mind as a bank. Every thought you deposit compounds over time. Negative beliefs produce poverty interest. Positive ones produce wealth dividends. That's why affirmations and visualization work, not because of magic, but because they reprogram your subconscious to expect abundance instead of lack. What you expect consistently, you attract eventually. You see, poverty is not just the absence of money, it's the absence of vision. Many people wake up every day working hard, yet directionless. They follow orders, chase bills, and repeat cycles. The rich don't work harder, they work smarter. They spend more time thinking, planning, and strategizing than doing. The poor say, I don't have time to think. The rich say, thinking is how I make time. I'll tell you something even deeper. The poor mind consumes, the rich mind creates. Every time you create, whether it's a product, a service, an idea, or even a YouTube channel, you open a door to income. Every time you only consume buying, watching, scrolling, you close a door. The world rewards creators because they multiply value. Consumers keep economies alive, creators shape them. Now imagine your money as water. If you keep it in a cup, it evaporates. If you let it flow through channels, investments, ideas, assets, it multiplies into rivers. Money stagnates when it sits idle. Even saving must have a direction. Saved money should eventually move into investment. That's how the rich keep the flow alive. But beware of the illusion of income. Many people earn high salaries but are still broke because their expenses rise with their income. They buy bigger cars, move into bigger homes, and take on bigger loans. That's not progress, that's inflation of ego. True wealth is not how much you earn, it's how much you keep and how much earns for you. The poor mind chases symbols, titles, luxury, validation. The rich mind chases systems, structures that work without constant supervision. That's why rich people talk about cash flow, not salary. They understand that income without freedom is still slavery. If your money stops the day you stop working, you don't own a business, you own a job. When you start seeing yourself as a manager of wealth instead of a worker for money, life begins to change. You'll start noticing opportunities that were always there, the small business ideas, the side hustles, the potential investments. It's like tuning your radio to a different frequency. Suddenly, You hear things others can't. You must also learn to detach your emotions from money. Don't worship it, but don't fear it either. The poor mind fears losing money, so it never risks. The rich mind knows losing money is part of learning. Every mistake brings wisdom, and wisdom is the highest form of wealth. Learn to lose small, learn fast, and move on. The only true loss is the one that teaches you nothing. And remember this: wealth begins in silence. Most millionaires you'll meet don't shout about their plans, they study, they observe, they act quietly. The poor often make noise about what they plan to buy. The rich plan what they will build. Patience, consistency, and self-control are their allies. Before you sleep tonight, ask yourself, if I keep doing what I'm doing now, where will I be in 5 years? Still working for bills or building something that works for me? That question is not to scare you, but to awaken you. Because the day you realize you're trading your lifetime for monthly pay, you begin to search for freedom. And that search, that hunger, is where true wealth begins. Wealth is not about money, it's about mastery. Master your habits, your emotions, and your mindset, and the world will reward you accordingly. Don't just learn how to earn, learn how to evolve. The poor mind asks, what can I buy with this? The rich mind asks, what can I build with this? One consumes the future, the other creates it. When you begin to think like the rich mind, every dollar you touch becomes a tool of transformation. You start to see that money is not scarce, it's simply waiting for direction. And that direction comes from within you, your vision, your discipline, and your courage to act differently. Most people spend their lives chasing money. They run from one job to another, from one business idea to another, believing that if they can just earn a little more, life will finally be better. But those who truly understand money know something different. They know that money itself is a tool that can be bent, shaped, and multiplied through knowledge and patience. The rich never run after money. They make money run after them. Money behaves like fire. If you fear it, it will burn you. If you learn to control it, it will cook for you. Those who master money know how to direct it into systems that keep feeding them even while they sleep. That's what people mean when they say, make money work for you. It's not poetry, it's a formula. To begin mastering this art, you must first understand the difference between working for income and building assets. Income is money that comes from your effort. Assets are things that generate money without your effort. For example, your job is income. A rental property, a business, an investment, or even a YouTube channel that earns while you rest. Those are assets. The rich don't measure wealth by how much they earn monthly. They measure it by how many assets are feeding them. That's why rich people can take vacations while still making money. Their money has employees' assets that keep working even when they don't. Think of your money as small workers. Each dollar should have a task. You can tell it, go and bring me more. If it's sitting idle in a bank account losing value to inflation, it's unemployed. But if you place it in the right investment, it starts recruiting others like it, and soon you have an army of money soldiers fighting for your freedom. The secret is financial manipulation, not in the dishonest sense, but in the intelligent way of directing money's flow. When poor people get paid, they immediately think of spending. When the rich get paid, they immediately think of multiplying. They look at their income and ask, how can I turn this into something that grows itself? That question creates financial strategies. Imagine two friends, both earning the same salary. The first buys a new phone, some new clothes, and eats out several times a week. The second invests that same amount in a small business or a stock that pays dividends. After a year, the first man has memories, the second man has momentum. In 5 years, one is still earning the same salary. The other's investments are paying him even when he's asleep. That is the difference between spending and manipulation. One uses money once, the other uses it many times. There's something powerful that wealthy people understand about money. It grows through motion. When money is circulating, buying, selling, investing, renting, creating, it multiplies. When it's hoarded or hidden, it decays. Think of money like blood. It has to flow through the body of the economy for it to give life. The moment it stagnates, sickness sets in. That's why financial stagnation often follows fear. When people are scared, they hold on to their money. The rich, however, understand timing. When others are afraid, they invest. When others are greedy, they sell. That's how they manipulate markets without magic, just mindset. To control money, you must first stop being emotional about it. Every dollar you touch must have a destination, either protection, multiplication, or education. If it's not serving one of those, it's being wasted. Learn to divide your income into missions. Some money should protect your present, that's your living expenses and emergency fund. Some should build your future, that's your investments and savings. And some should expand your wisdom, that's the money you use to learn more about finance, business, or self-development. Knowledge is the highest return on investment. A single idea learned from a book or course can save you from 10 years of financial struggle. That's why the rich spend more on learning than on luxury. They know that wisdom compounds faster than interest. Poor people say, education is expensive. The rich say, ignorance is costlier. Let me share a simple formula that changes lives. Earn, save, invest, build, inherit. Every person who understands money passes through these 5 stages. You start by trading your skill or time for income. Then you save, protecting that income from waste. Then you invest, allowing it to multiply through assets. Then you build, turning those assets into a system that operates even when you're not present. And finally, you inherit not from others, but from your own discipline. You inherit peace, freedom, and legacy. But most people stop at the first 2 stages. They earn and save, but never invest. They live cautious lives, terrified of risk, waiting for perfect opportunities that never come. The truth is, there's no safe way to wealth. You must be bold enough to move. Even saving is risky when inflation eats your value silently every year. Money that doesn't grow is dying. The only antidote to financial decay is motion. There are 3 tools the wealthy use to manipulate money: assets, leverage, and systems. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. Leverage means using other people's resources, their money, time, or expertise to multiply results. And a system is a structure that works with or without you. Let's start with assets. Rich people collect assets the way others collect gadgets. They know that every asset is a future employee, a piece of land, a stock portfolio, an online business, or even intellectual property. All these are assets that can feed you long after your strength fades. Poor people buy liabilities thinking they're assets, cars, clothes, or fancy electronics that lose value the moment they're purchased. Now, leverage. The wealthy understand that the secret of scaling is not doing everything alone. They use other people's skills, money, and time. A man who owns 10 taxis isn't driving them. He's leveraging other drivers' time. A woman who runs an online store isn't packaging every order herself. She's leveraging systems and software. Banks, investors, and credit are all forms of leverage when used wisely. Poor people fear debt because they use it for consumption. Rich people embrace good debt because they use it for production. Here's the difference. If your debt makes you money, it's good. If it only takes your money, it's bad. Borrowing to buy clothes or phones is bad debt. Borrowing to start a profitable business or buy property that appreciates is smart debt. That's manipulation, not trickery, but transformation. Turning what most people fear into a tool for expansion. The third is systems. A system is a process that repeats success automatically. It's what makes the difference between self-employment and entrepreneurship. A self-employed person works for money. An entrepreneur builds systems that produce money. For example, if you sell herbal products and have to make every sale personally, you're self-employed. But if you create a marketing system that sells while you sleep, you've become an entrepreneur. The system now works for you. That's the goal of every rich mind, to replace themselves with structures. Once you have assets, leverage, and systems working together, you begin to experience financial freedom. You're no longer waking up in fear of bills. Your money is doing the waking. The wealthy live by this law. Do the work once and let it pay you forever. That's why they invest time in building assets that yield continuously. Poor people work for instant pay. Rich people work for perpetual pay. Now let's talk about the flow of money. Money has directions. It can either flow toward you or away from you. When you spend without intention, it flows away. When you invest, it flows toward you. But there's also a higher form of flow circulation. The rich circulate money through partnerships, philanthropy, and reinvestment. They give strategically, knowing it returns in ways beyond money through influence, trust, and opportunity. One powerful truth about money is that it obeys trust. The universe won't give you what you can't handle responsibly. If you mismanage small income, you disqualify yourself from larger streams. That's why stewardship is vital. Before wealth multiplies, it tests your maturity. Another secret: the rich don't chase discounts, they chase value. They'd rather buy one thing that generates income than 10 things that depreciate. They think long-term, not short-term. Poor people ask, how much does it cost? The rich ask, how much will it return? That question is the difference between consumerism and capitalism. Even the word manipulation in wealth is misunderstood. To manipulate is simply to shape something to your will. You manipulate clay to form a pot. You manipulate your garden soil to grow crops. So when I say manipulate money, I mean learn to shape it intentionally. Don't let money control your emotions. Let your vision control your money. And here's the beauty of it. You don't need to be rich to start doing this. You just need structure. Begin with what you have. Take 10% of every income and let it go to work in a small investment, a savings fund, or a business idea. Consistency is the seed of compound growth. Over time, your money begins to develop momentum. Albert Einstein once called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. He said, "Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it." Every time you borrow, you pay compound interest to someone else. Every time you invest, you make others pay it to you. So ask yourself, on which side of the equation do you stand? Let's talk about mindset again, because even manipulation requires wisdom. Many people sabotage their wealth through impatience. They want quick profits, and when they don't come, they give up. But wealth grows like a tree. You water it consistently before you ever see fruit. That's why the rich think in decades, not days. Every money decision should be measured by one principle. Does it bring me closer to freedom or deeper into slavery? Every purchase, loan, and investment carries that answer silently. Freedom means money working for you. Slavery means you working endlessly for money. The day you stop exchanging time for money is the day you begin to live. That's why the rich build pipelines while others carry buckets. Carrying buckets gives instant results. You earn today, you spend today. Building pipelines takes time, but once complete, it delivers water forever. In the same way, investments, businesses, and assets are your pipelines. So learn to sacrifice temporary pleasure for permanent power. Don't be afraid to look boring while you build. The time will come when your discipline will buy you freedom others only dream of. You'll wake up one day realizing that your money is now your employee reporting for duty while you rest. That's not fantasy. That's financial design. You must master 4 financial manipulations if you want to rise. Manipulate your income by increasing your value. Manipulate your expenses by prioritizing needs over wants. Manipulate your savings by turning them into investments. Manipulate your time by focusing on creation, not consumption. When these 4 work together, your financial life becomes a strategy, not a struggle. And finally, remember, every coin has a mission. Money, like energy, obeys direction. Command it with clarity, and it will obey. Treat it casually, and it will escape. The rich speak to their money daily, not literally, but through their habits, their vision, their discipline. Every budget, every investment, Every plan is a conversation with your future. So don't chase money anymore. Attract it through understanding. Don't fear losing it. Fear not learning from it. Because when you master the game, money becomes what it was always meant to be: your servant, not your master. Freedom is not when you have a lot of money. It is when money no longer controls the way you live. True financial freedom is not about luxury cars or mansions. It is about peace. It is about waking up and knowing that your time belongs to you. It's about choosing your day, not chasing your pay. And that level of peace does not come from one income stream, it comes from many. The rich understand this law deeply: never depend on a single source of income. Think of life as a river system. A poor man builds one small stream from his job. The day that stream dries up, his life begins to crack. The rich build rivers from several directions: property, business, investments, digital income, royalties. If one dries, the others still flow. That's what they call financial resilience, the art of being unshakable even when the economy trembles. When you have only one income, you are one decision away from disaster: one boss's mood, one contract's end, one policy's change. But when you have several, life becomes a playground of choices. You no longer chase opportunities, you select them. That is the difference between hustling for money and designing wealth. Let me tell you something powerful. Money loves multiplication. It hates idleness. The more directions you give it, the more doors it opens. The rich never stop at one source. They keep expanding, learning, and experimenting. They see income as seeds to be planted in different soils. Some will sprout fast, others slow, but each contributes to the forest of freedom. Let's imagine you earn from your primary job. That's one stream. You start a small side hustle, maybe selling herbal products online or teaching a skill. That's two. You invest in a piece of land or buy shares in a local company. That's three. You start a YouTube channel where your knowledge or creativity earns through ads and sponsorships. That's four. You lend a portion of your money through peer-to-peer systems or local credit circles. That's five. Suddenly, money is not one-dimensional anymore. It's flowing toward you from many paths, each feeding the other. This is the foundation of wealth-building streams, not puddles. Puddles dry quickly, streams endure seasons. But building multiple streams requires structure and mindset. You cannot grow what you cannot manage. So start with one stream, make it strong, consistent, and disciplined. Then let that stream fund the next one. Don't rush. Each source must have its roots before you plant another. Otherwise, you'll build a field of half-grown dreams. In the early stages, your goal is not to get rich fast, but to build systems that outlive your energy. You want assets that can feed you when you are too old to work or when you simply want peace. You must think like a farmer, not a gambler. A farmer understands patience. He plants, waters, waits, and then harvests. A gambler throws seeds at random and prays for miracles. Wealth doesn't respond to prayer alone, it responds to principles. There are four categories of income that you must master if you want freedom: earned income, portfolio income, passive income, and royalty income. Earned income is from your labor, your job, or profession. Portfolio income is from investments, stocks, bonds, and properties. Passive income comes from systems, businesses, rentals, or automated platforms that run with minimal effort. Royalty income comes from intellectual property, your books, courses, music, designs, or videos that keep earning long after you've finished the work. The secret of the rich is that they convert their earned income into the other three as quickly as possible. Every time you earn, ask yourself, how can I make this money earn again without me? That question alone shifts you from consumer to creator. Most people work 40 years to retire with anxiety. The rich work 10 to 20 years to retire with abundance. The difference is what they build in between streams. They plant trees that give fruit year after year. You too can do that, starting small. Don't wait for millions. Begin with a seed. If you earn $1,000, take 100 and direct it into something that can grow. buy education, start a small online venture, or invest in something safe but growing. It's not the size that matters, it's the consistency. I've met people who told me, "I don't earn enough to invest." But that statement is exactly why they never will. You see, investment is not about amount, it's about habit. The habit of multiplication. If you can invest $10 every week, you are training your subconscious to grow. Over time, your capacity increases. The poor think of money in months, what they'll eat, what they'll wear. The rich think of money in decades, what they'll build, what they'll leave. They understand that long-term planning is the foundation of freedom. That's why they don't panic during economic storms. Their systems protect them. They have savings for emergencies, investments for growth, and cash flow for daily needs. Their house of wealth has pillars. Now, let's speak of time. Because financial freedom is not just about money, it's about reclaiming time. The more you depend on one income, the less time you own. You become a slave to that single stream. Multiple streams give you space. They let you breathe. They let you choose where to focus your energy. There's a hidden rule that the wealthy live by. You must own something that earns while you rest. Whether it's a rental room, an online course, a store that sells while you sleep, you must have something producing even when your hands are still. That's how you buy time with money. Every dollar that works without you gives you minutes of freedom. And remember, the digital world has made this easier than ever. You can create value globally from your phone. You can sell knowledge, products, or services to the world. The internet has leveled the field, but only for those who are awake. While others scroll for entertainment, the wise scroll for opportunity. The device in your hand can either drain your wallet or build your empire. It depends on how you use it. The problem is, most people's income depends on their physical presence. If they stop working, their money stops. That's dangerous. The rich build incomes that depend on systems, not stamina. A YouTube creator's video keeps earning views long after it's uploaded. A farmer's land keeps yielding once prepared. A landlord's tenants keep paying rent even when he's on vacation. A writer's book keeps selling years after it was written. This is how freedom is built through creation that endures. But let's not forget the most important stream of all, the stream of knowledge. Every idea you learn becomes a potential source of income. Knowledge is the mother of all streams. Without it, you cannot identify opportunities. With it, you can create wealth out of nothing. Every successful entrepreneur is simply someone who solved a problem others ignored. Learn constantly, read books about money, watch people who have built wealth honestly, study their habits. Notice how calm they are about money because they know how to direct it. You cannot copy their results if you don't copy their discipline. They plan, they track, they reinvest. Now, many people ask, what if I fail? But that question is born from fear, not wisdom. Every rich person you admire has failed multiple times. Failure is the tuition fee for financial mastery. You lose small to learn big. You stumble forward, not backward. The only people who never lose are those who never try, but they also never grow. Don't fear starting small. Every empire begins with dust. Even your first investment, your first product, your first idea, no matter how tiny, will teach you principles. The more you practice, the more skilled you become. Money rewards skill, not wish. You must also learn to protect your streams. Diversification doesn't mean carelessness, it means planning with balance. Don't invest all in one area. Split between safe and risky options. The rich do this instinctively. They mix short-term cash flow with long-term growth. It's like farming. Some crops feed you now, others build forests later. And always remember, liquidity is safety. Keep a reserve that covers emergencies. Never invest every coin. Freedom doesn't come from reckless gambling, it comes from calculated growth. Your emergency fund is your shield, your investments are your sword, and your income is your ground. Protect all three. The most fulfilling moment in life is when your money starts greeting you in the morning, when you open your account and see income you didn't physically earn. That's when you understand what it means to be truly free. You realize that your efforts were never about luxury, they were about liberation. Wealth is not an event, it's a rhythm, a steady beat of earning, saving, investing, and reinvesting. The moment you stop that rhythm, poverty creeps in quietly. It doesn't need invitation, it only needs inconsistency. That's why the rich respect every coin. They don't waste time arguing about luck. They know that financial independence is built, not found. They build it piece by piece, day by day. Their success is not magic, it's method. Every person can reach that stage. You don't need to inherit money, you need to inherit mindset. You need to plant streams with intention, water them with knowledge, and guard them with patience. And when they finally flow, don't hoard. Teach others. Wealth that is shared multiplies. When you help others grow, you expand your own opportunities. Never forget, money follows purpose. If your streams serve people, they will never run dry. The world rewards usefulness. Solve problems, and you'll never run out of profit. That is financial freedom. Not just having enough for yourself, but creating enough to bless others. When your money feeds lives, heals families, and funds dreams, you've entered the true kingdom of wealth where value and virtue meet. So keep building, keep learning, and keep flowing. Because freedom is not a destination, it's a design. And you, my friend, are the architect. There comes a time in every person's life when they stop and ask, is this all there is? The morning rush, the constant bills, the endless cycle of earning and spending, working and waiting, all for a sense of security that never truly arrives. That's the rat race, a race without a finish line. It's the silent trap that holds millions captive people who think they're free because they earn, but in truth, they're owned by what they owe. The rat race is not about how hard you work. It's about what you're working for. Most people work to survive. The rich work to escape. They know that as long as you exchange time for money, you will never be truly free. Because time is finite, and when your income depends on your hours, your freedom dies with your schedule. The first step out of the rat race is awareness. You must see it to escape it. Look closely at the system you're in. School, job, bills, taxes. It was designed to create workers, not owners. You were told to study hard, get a good job, and climb the ladder. But no one told you the ladder leans against the wrong wall. That's why so many climb only to find themselves still broke, still anxious, still dependent. The rich don't climb ladders, they build them. They understand that employment is the beginning, not the destination. They use jobs to learn, not to live. A job is training ground for your business mind. You gather knowledge, contacts, discipline, then build your own system. But if you stay too long, comfort becomes your cage. When you realize you're caught in the cycle, you must shift from being an employee to becoming an owner. That doesn't mean quitting immediately, it means transforming your thinking. Stop saying, I work for a company. Start saying, I work with a company to build my capital. Use your job as a stepping stone, not a resting place. The rat race thrives on emotional spending. It keeps you buying things to feel successful, a new car, new clothes, new gadgets, all symbols of progress, but in truth, chains in disguise. The system rewards you with dopamine instead of dividends. You feel rich, but your account bleeds quietly. The more you buy to impress, the deeper you sink. Escaping this cycle requires brutal honesty. Ask yourself, do I spend to grow or to glow? Growth spending multiplies your future. Glow spending only brightens your present. The rich invest their income, the poor inflate their image. And in the end, image fades, assets remain. Another way the system traps people is through taxation and debt. The poor pay taxes before they spend, the rich spend before they pay taxes. How? Through structure. They create companies, trusts, and corporations that allow them to buy assets with pre-tax income. When an employee earns $1,000, taxes take first, leaving maybe $700 to live on. When a business owner earns $1,000, they spend on business expenses, first vehicles, supplies, travel, staff, and pay taxes on what's left. The same system, but different rules. The rich play the game from the control room, the poor play from the field. Debt, too, is a weapon depending on who wields it. Bad debt enslaves, Good debt empowers. Bad debt buys pleasure. Good debt buys power. The poor borrow for things that lose value. The rich borrow for things that create value. A mortgage on a rental property that generates rent is good debt. A loan for a luxury car that drains your monthly income is bad debt. The secret is not to avoid debt, but to make it serve you. You must also master credit. Credit is trust in numbers. When the system trusts you, it gives you access to other people's money. That's how the rich expand. They use leverage. They borrow not because they're broke, but because they understand velocity. They let borrowed money create profits faster than it costs to borrow. That is financial alchemy, turning debt into gold. But the rat race teaches fear of credit. It trains people to worship cash and avoid loans, yet cash alone cannot build empires. Controlled credit can. The difference is knowledge. If you learn the rules, you bend them in your favor. If you remain ignorant, you become a victim of them. Escaping the rat race is not rebellion. It's evolution. It's realizing that life is too precious to trade entirely for bills. It's realizing that every dollar you earn must either serve you or enslave you. It's taking your financial life into your own hands. The rich have systems that generate passive income. That means money that arrives without their constant labor. It may come from rental properties, dividends, royalties, or automated businesses. They build once and earn forever. That's what separates independence from employment. Imagine two people, both working hard. The first works 10 hours daily at a job. The second spends 10 hours building a system, a small business, a digital store, or an investment plan. After 5 years, the first still works 10 hours a day. The second wakes up to income without alarm clocks. Same effort, different direction. The second built leverage. The first remained labor. But understand this, escaping the rat race doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience, planning, and discipline. You start small, build consistently, and reinvest wisely. Each step frees a bit more of your time. Each asset adds a brick to your independence. One day, the scale tips. Your passive income equals your living expenses. That's the tipping point of freedom. You're out. From there, life changes. You no longer chase opportunities, you design them. You wake up with purpose, not pressure. You create because you want to, not because you have to. That's what wealth was always meant to do, buy back your life. But be careful of the illusion of success. Many escape the rat race financially, but remain trapped mentally. They still measure worth by comparison, still fear losing status. True escape is inner peace, when your wealth serves your joy, not your ego. It takes courage to live differently. People will question your sacrifices. They'll laugh when you drive an old car or skip parties to save and invest. But remember, the path to freedom is lonely at first, crowded at the end. The same people who mock your discipline will one day ask for your advice. There's another key to escaping the rat race: learning to detach income from identity. Your job title, your profession, your social status, these are roles, not roots. The rich understand that they are not what they do, they are what they build. They see themselves as creators of value, not just carriers of labor. When you identify only as your job, you limit your potential. When you identify as a value creator, you become limitless. You start seeing opportunities everywhere in conversations, trends, needs. The world becomes a playground for your ideas. Let me tell you something most people never realize. Financial freedom is not expensive. It's strategic. You don't need millions. You need multiplication. If your monthly expenses are $2,000 and your passive income equals that, you are free. You may not be rich, but you are free. And from freedom, wealth grows faster because you now have time to focus on creation. That's why the rat race must be escaped mentally before financially. You must stop thinking, I need more money, and start thinking, I need better systems. Because no amount of income can save a poor mindset. The more you earn, the more you'll waste, unless your thinking changes. Start seeing yourself as an investor, even before you invest. Speak wealth into your habits. Ask yourself before every expense, is this a liability or an asset? Liabilities take money from you. Assets return it. Make decisions like an owner, not a spender. You also need to understand the power of automation. Automate your savings, automate your investments. Don't rely on willpower, rely on systems. The less emotion in your money, the better your results. And never underestimate the power of mentorship. Find people who've walked the path. Learn from their mistakes. Read their books. Listen to their experiences. The rich learn from others' failures. The poor insist on making their own. Wisdom borrowed is time saved. One of the hardest parts of escaping the rat race is dealing with fear, the fear of uncertainty. But remember, fear is the gatekeeper of freedom. It's the test before transformation. Everyone who has ever built wealth felt fear. They just didn't bow to it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move despite it. And finally, when you begin to rise, lift others. Teach your children about money early. Don't let them inherit ignorance. Show them the value of saving, investing, and serving. Create a family culture of wisdom. Because escaping the rat race is not just personal victory, it's generational healing. Imagine this: your children growing up in a home where money is a tool, not a tension, where they see you investing, planning, and creating. That environment reprograms them forever. They'll never fear poverty because they'll understand how to create wealth. That's the true revolution: financial freedom passed down through example. So, if you feel trapped right now, take heart. The door is open. You just need to walk differently. Begin today. Build small streams. Learn new skills. Control your spending. Set clear goals. Every day, take one step closer to freedom. Because the system only wins if you stop moving. Freedom is not somewhere you arrive. It's something you become. The moment you stop living by fear and start living by design, you're already outside the maze. The rat race only exists for those who keep running in circles. Step out, build forward, and never look back. There is a level of wealth that money cannot buy, a richness of peace, purpose, and presence. You see, many people believe they're chasing wealth, but in truth, they're chasing validation. They want to be seen as successful, not necessarily to be successful. Yet, true wealth begins when you no longer need to prove it. It begins when your money reflects your values, not your vanity. Wealth is not the abundance of possessions. It's the abundance of options. It's the ability to choose how to spend your day, who to spend it with, and what to dedicate your life to. The poor chase things, the rich chase meaning. When your money aligns with your mission, every dollar becomes sacred it serves, not enslaves. Discipline is the first pillar of that sacred wealth. Without discipline, even the richest man will lose his fortune. Discipline is the invisible guard that protects prosperity. It whispers, "Not yet," when temptation calls. It teaches you to wait for value instead of chasing validation. The reason most people remain broke is not because they don't earn, it's because they cannot delay gratification. They exchange tomorrow's freedom for today's pleasure. A rich man once said, "If you can control what you eat, what you say, and how you spend, you can control your destiny." Self-control is the highest currency. The rich don't let emotion drive decisions. They plan, analyze, and execute. They say no more often than they say yes, not because they're stingy, but because they're strategic. Every yes costs something. They spend it wisely. But beyond discipline lies vision. Without vision, wealth is just accumulation. Vision gives direction to your riches. It's what separates a man who builds an empire from one who hoards gold. Vision asks, "What will this money do for the world after I'm gone?" It's the seed of legacy. You see, vision gives money purpose. Without it, even millions feel empty. The happiest wealthy people are not those who have the most, but those who serve the most. They understand that prosperity is stewardship. You don't own wealth. You manage it on behalf of life itself. That's why generosity expands wealth. When you give, you prove mastery. When you hoard, you prove fear. The universe rewards flow. Water that refuses to flow becomes stagnant. Money that refuses to move loses meaning. The rich keep money moving. They reinvest, donate, educate, and innovate. Every act of generosity keeps the river alive. But giving must come from wisdom, not weakness. Give to empower, not to impress. Support those who want to rise, not those who choose to sink. The third pillar of the philosophy of wealth is gratitude. Many people think gratitude is just saying thank you. It's much deeper. Gratitude is recognizing abundance, even in little. It's seeing potential before profit. It keeps your spirit rich, even when your pockets are thin. Gratitude creates a vibration that attracts more because what you appreciate, appreciates. The ungrateful mind repels prosperity. It complains, compares, and consumes. But the grateful mind multiplies everything it touches. Even in tough times, gratitude whispers, "I'm learning, not losing." It keeps your energy aligned with growth. That's why spiritual wealth must precede material wealth. If your spirit is poor, money will only make your poverty louder. Let's talk about character, because character is the foundation of enduring success. Money reveals, it never hides. When people get rich and become arrogant, the wealth didn't change them, it exposed them. If you were kind before money, wealth will make you more generous. If you were selfish, it will magnify that too. That's why true wealth building begins with inner work. The discipline to say no to quick gains, the integrity to refuse dishonest deals, the patience to grow slowly but solidly. These are the roots that hold empires upright. Many fortunes fall because they were built faster than their builder's maturity. Money arrives before wisdom, and the result is ruin. That's why you must grow into your wealth, not just into your wallet. Learn to respect the process. Every failure, every delay, every rejection is part of your financial education. The universe tests your endurance before it trusts you with abundance. The faster you learn patience, the quicker your prosperity matures. Legacy is the highest form of wealth. It's not about leaving money, it's about leaving meaning. It's what people will remember long after your money is gone. It's the way your principles, your vision, and your discipline echo through generations. When your children inherit not just your riches, but your wisdom, your wealth becomes eternal. Legacy asks you to think differently. Instead of saying, "I'll die rich," say, "I'll live useful." Because usefulness guarantees remembrance. Look at the great builders of civilization, those who invested in education, medicine, art, or humanity. They may have died, but their value still pays dividends. To create legacy, you must first master succession, the ability to teach others what you know. The rich mentor their children. They teach them about money early, how to budget, how to invest, how to differentiate assets from liabilities. Poor parents often hide money conversations, thinking it's adult talk. But ignorance is the most expensive inheritance. Every generation that refuses to talk about money forces the next to start from zero. Imagine the power of a family that grows in financial wisdom generation after generation. A family that owns land, businesses, ideas, not just memories. That's how dynasties are born, not through luck, but through literacy. But legacy is not only for family, it's for community. It's about leaving footprints that others can walk in. Use your wealth to create opportunities, build schools, empower entrepreneurs, heal the land. Make your money a mirror of your morals, because the true purpose of abundance is contribution. Even your personal habits contribute to legacy. Simplicity, humility, and consistency are silent signatures of the wise. The rich who last are often quiet. They live beneath their means, invest steadily, and let results speak. The loud often fade quickly because noise cannot sustain value. Be calm in prosperity, dignified in power, and humble in plenty. That's real wealth. You see, money and morality are siblings. Without morality, money becomes madness. Without money, morality can become helpless. When they unite, civilization rises. That's why financial wisdom must be taught with conscience. The moment wealth loses compassion, it becomes poison. Let your wealth have a soul. Let it heal, not harm. Invest in things that uplift humanity, not exploit it. Because how you make money matters as much as how much you make. The rich who exploit lose peace. The wealthy who uplift gain immortality. You must also understand the rhythm of cycles. Money flows in seasons, earning, growing, testing, harvesting. Learn to recognize your seasons. Save in abundance. Stay calm in scarcity. The poor panic during winter. The rich plan during summer. Seasons always change. That's the law of life. Those who prepare never perish. Sometimes you will feel tired on the journey. You will question if it's worth the struggle. But remember, this financial freedom is not just for you. It's for everyone who will come after you. You're breaking patterns, centuries-old cycles of scarcity, dependency, and ignorance. Every time you invest instead of spending, you heal an ancestral wound. Every time you teach instead of hiding, you bless a generation. Wealth is a form of worship when used rightly. Managing it with integrity honors the source that gave you strength. When you work hard, create honestly, and give generously, you're participating in divine economics, the circulation of blessings. And don't forget, time itself is the ultimate currency. Spend it with intention. Use it to learn, to build, to love, to rest. Every wasted hour is wealth unrecoverable. But every hour spent on self-mastery compounds into greatness. In your old age, you won't remember the luxuries you bought. You'll remember the lives you touched, the peace you earned, and the freedom you created. That is true wealth, to look back and smile, knowing your time was not traded in vain. So as you walk your path, remember these truths. Discipline builds wealth. Vision directs it. Gratitude preserves it. Character protects it. Legacy extends it. And in the end, the greatest investment you can ever make is in yourself, in your growth, your integrity, your purpose. Because wealth will always follow wisdom, never the other way around. So, let your hands work diligently, your heart stay pure, and your mind remain open. Learn, build, give, and grow. When you do, you'll find that money is not your master, it's your mirror. It reflects who you are and amplifies what you believe. Let your reflection be one of balance, generosity, and peace. Let your wealth whisper, not scream. Let it tell your story long after your voice has gone silent. Because in the end, that is the legacy of the wise, to live richly in spirit, even richer in service, and leave the world better than you found it. My friend, you've just walked through a journey that few take, a journey of awakening. If these words touched your mind, I hope they also stirred your heart. Because financial freedom isn't just a dream for the lucky, it's a discipline for the ready. You have the power to shape your destiny, one decision, one mindset shift at a time. Remember, you don't need millions to begin. You just need a moment of clarity and the courage to act. Your wealth begins in your thoughts, grows through your habits, and blossoms through your discipline. Every time you save instead of waste, learn instead of complain, invest instead of delay, you are breaking the chains of financial slavery. And if this message has lit a fire in you, don't keep it to yourself. Someone out there is still lost in the rat race, waiting to hear the right voice, maybe yours, to remind them that it's possible to rise. So share this video with them. You never know whose future you might transform. If you found value here, go ahead, like this video so more people can find it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next teaching that could shift your life forever. And don't just watch, participate. Leave a comment about what lesson hit you the hardest today. Your words might inspire someone else's breakthrough. This is your moment to start building your mind, your money, your freedom, and your legacy. Remember, financial wisdom is not about chasing riches, it's about mastering life. So until we meet again, keep learning, keep growing, and keep walking in purpose. And I'll see you in the next video. Together, let's build a world where knowledge replaces fear, where action replaces waiting, and where every soul rises to financial freedom.